And another example of the skills that people need constantly changing.
Yeah.
You also talked about golden thread. Can you just explain a little bit more about what you mean by the golden thread?
There is no one way to describe it generally, but for me, the golden thread is an evidence-based, chronological, digital footprint of how you have designed a building, built the building, and pushed it into operation. And it captures everything, every decision, every product used, everyone involved, the time it took. The golden thread is your digital footprint of how you delivered this asset, essentially. Its purpose in the form of a digital twin is to allow a third party, in this case the building safety regulator, to look at what you've done and say that at Gateway 1, we gave you permission to build X. At Gateway 3, we now have to give a certificate of occupation, and that Gateway 3 is dependent upon us looking as to whether you actually built what you were permitted to build. So that's what I call the 1-to-1 ratio. Generally, we get permission to build a 10-story asset. We finish building it, but when you look at what we built, there's a design gap because some things have slipped, some things have got through, some things aren't quite right. That golden thread may not get you the certificate at Gateway 3. So you need to build 1-to-1 ratio now. And the best way to capture that 1-to-1 ratio is in a digital twin. So for me, the golden thread is about accuracy, transparency, accountability of what you were permitted to do. It's about accountability. Did you build what you were permitted to build? And is what you built safe to occupy?
And then what happens beyond occupation? Because Building Safety Act doesn't stop at the point that the building's occupied. So that must have a big impact on the skills for the people who are maintaining the buildings.
I think therein lies the challenge, because the building safety case, that is what is produced to provide to the building safety regulator. The building safety case potentially has to be reviewed every 5 years. So that building safety case on day one, if anything changes in that asset over the 5-year period, it has to be captured in the report in a digital format. So that's the extension of your golden thread beyond Gateway 3. To maintain that asset in a digital environment requires new skills. Whether you're an architect, engineer, contractor, your facilities management teams, they need to upskill now. Are they competent to recognize that, for example, you want to refurbish a room, they have to take before and after photos, capture exactly what was done, what was installed. They need to reflect that in the models. And guess what? If they've introduced new risks as a consequence of that work, even the insurance companies need to recognize. So the capturing and sharing of information is the skill that's required by everybody. So everybody's a data manager now, in addition to what they were doing before. But it's not a new part of the role.